Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hello. It's you again. Did we just see each other last night? Good to see you. Thank you all for coming. It's good to see you again. Today we barely started talking about discussing the Song Enlightenment, which is a classic in Chinese Chan. It's written by great master Yung Chia, who is one of the eminent disciples of the Sixth Patriarch. Master Yung Chia met with the Sixth Patriarch and was certified to be enlightened. And he stayed there for one night, and he came back and started teaching. And the way he taught, we're not sure. We don't have a lot of records for what he did. But what's left behind in the Chinese Chan literature, this thing called Song Enlightenment. And it's very, very famous, very classic. It is typical of the depth of the Chinese wisdom, if you will. So it is actually a great pleasure for us. It's a real treat for us to be able to revisit and look into the depth of the Chinese wisdom. All right, so we only started. And as usual, feel free to ask any questions or about anything. All right, so he started by saying, he started by a question, have you not seen? Okay, unfortunately, the translation to English doesn't do justice to his intention, to his style of teaching, okay? And if you understand a little bit of the Chinese language, you see that it actually has many meanings, and this simple thing that's very difficult, that's impossible to translate into English, unfortunately. Okay, so let me try to explain it to you. Have you not seen here? He starts by saying Qun. Qun is a word that refers to the kings, to nobilities. Okay? So what does it mean? It means that Qun here refers to a different class of people. It denotes a superior class of people who are our leaders, who set example for standards of behavior. So Qun here refers to you at all? What does it have to do with us, who are not noble people, who are not kings and queens? By the way, can I have a digression and make some comments about nobilities and kings and queens of this day and age? Would you be interested? Okay, I think you are. Okay. Speaking of kings and queens, okay, let's see, Queen of England. Okay, she's probably the most famous of the kings and queens of the world. Yes? Would you like to gossip, or you'd rather go into chanting and become, have so much wisdom about Chan and so forth? And this is low level, let me assure you, okay? We start very low with we gossip, okay? Talking about kings and queens, okay? The Queen of England, Elizabeth, is one of the better monarchs in history, our history, our recent history. Because when she was younger, look at how the photos when she was younger. I hope that these are not copyrighted, because then our YouTube would have problems with the censorships and so forth. And look at how young, and look at this image here, a young and idealistic young monarch. Agree, disagree? Because that's how I heard of her. I heard of her as becoming a monarch at a very young age, and she said, I'm here to serve my country, my people. Yes? Okay. And she devoted her entire life serving her people. Now, at the end of her life right now, okay, can you see the difference between a younger Elizabeth versus a very old Elizabeth? What's the difference? Okay, she changed quite a bit. Yeah? The hair is, of course, very good. The hair is all white now. It's silver hair, yes. And the face is more pale, it's more makeup. Back then here, it's just foundation and lipsticks. I know you don't understand what I'm talking about yet, but it's okay. In time you will. Okay, so it's basically here, back here is foundations. Okay, but here it's a lot of makeup. You know, this thing here is wrinkle-reducing makeup, if you will, wrinkle-hiding makeup. Okay, but what else if you notice? That's a difference. The what? The dress is much more expensive than before. That is so true. Very good of you, okay? This dress is very, very expensive. You can tell, okay? And the necklace is like 100 times more expensive. You know what 100 times means? This necklace here that she wore is, you need to buy 100 of these to get one of these. Okay? The what? The crown is cheaper or more expensive. Let's see. It seems more expensive. You're right. Now it's diamond encrusted instead of just cheap gold. Okay? So the point here is that besides all these physical differences, what I'm noticing, I'm trying to point out to you, look into her eyes. What's the difference? These eyes here versus those eyes. What's the difference? One more time. This. Oh, what did I do? Sorry. Okay. These eyes is versus those eyes. What's the difference? This is what you do, boys and girls. When you get older, you want to get to know people. You look into their eyes. The eyes is more blue. No, that's contact lenses. Okay, so what's the difference? One more time. That, those eyes, and these eyes. Are they of the same person, you think? Why not? One is much older than the other. She's like 100 years old, and this one, she's like 20 years old. Okay? But what else is the difference? No, nowadays it's very difficult. Yes, it's so true. She's a very, very blessed person. In fact, when you live longer, it's because of your blessings. part in a Chinese culture, Asian culture, blessings is measured by longevity, how long you live. So she has a lot of blessings. Okay, so let me point it out to you. Okay, I'm just testing you, and most of you are not quite sensitive enough. Okay, the eyes are more cynical. Yes? Agree or disagree? These are someone who says, "Ooh, I'm a nice person. I believe in goodness." This one says, "I've seen a lot of evil." Yes or no? Is my imagination? Look, see? A lot more skeptical. A lot more cynical versus here. Oh, life is so beautiful. The world is so wonderful. Okay? But this is like, it's so hard. Life is so hard. Thank you. Thank you. Hey! Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. And so, that's my point. What happened? What do you think? You prefer to have a monarch like when she was younger like this, or like this one right now? This is a person, when he was younger, says, "I want to do good as a monarch." Agree? That's her. That's what's so remarkable about her at the age of 20 and with a very little guidance, that I want to be a good queen, a good monarch for my people. And now, what is she saying? Basically, she's saying, I've seen a lot of evil in my life and I've worked so hard. Now I'm trying to hang on to what I have and pass on to my children. I hope you won't be like this when you get older. You're so scared of losing what you have. That's not a monarch, is it? Is it? And this is worldly perspective. The monarchs, when they get older, nobles, when they get older, they become fearful. They lost track of their identities, who they're supposed to be. Okay? Because they haven't been trained to be monarchs, haven't been trained to be nobilities. What does it have to do? What does it have to do with us? And well, can I go a little further and offend more of these British people? What's the grandson's name? I even forgot his name. Not the one who's here in California. Prince, Not Harry. Harry is the loser. The other one. William, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. It's in William, okay? You see, and of course, wonderful Kate. You see the same kind of eyes as his grandma? Fear. I see fear. Fear in the eyes. Agree or disagree? If you have so much and you're still so afraid to lose it, then you don't have a whole lot, do you? You're still very poor in your soul. you're a poor nobleman, you're a poor monarch or monarch to be. Make sense? What it has to do with us? Okay? And see, this is what I feel sorry for these monarchs, because they are not taught properly. We in China, in Chan, where were we again? A Song of Enlightenment. Okay. He says, Jun here refers to nobility, monarchs and noblemen, nobilities. Okay? So it's, who are those nobilities? This song here, Song of Enlightenment, for those nobilities? Not at all. It's for us, for all of us. Yes? So basically, the great Master Yung Chia saying, you noble people, you, each and every one of you, the one who's shaking her hands, as well as a girl here, as well my boy here, you all noble people. Is he trying to sell himself? Is he exaggerating? Not at all. I assure you. Master Yung Chia was enlightened. He, in my estimate, based on the depth of his teaching, he's around 7th ground Bodhisattva, which is a great talent by any standards, especially in Mahayana. 7th ground Bodhisattva is a real asset of Mahayana. Below, it's debatable, but from 7th on, 8th is remarkable. 7th is at the edge of greatness, if you will. Okay? 8th is great. 9th is even greater, 10th and so forth. But 7th is being primed to do great things. Okay? So this man here, this monk here, has tremendous wisdom, and what he did is prime. Hey boy, prime people. So prime people to do great things, right? Great teachers leave great legacies through their students. So far, so good. Oh, photo art. Can we post this on the internet, please? Master surrounded by loving children. Smile, boy. Hey, smile. Okay. This is what I wish I had children of my own. Now I won't regret anything. But then of those you are aspiring to have children, talk to the rest of our women. They made a lot of babies. Okay, so he says, Jun here, he says, you here is a good translation, but it drops out the concept of nobility. So he looks at all of you, all of us, as noble people. Why? Why? Why are you noble people? Let me rephrase it for you. What makes the person noble? If the person is not born into nobility, born into monarchy, what makes you a noble person? What transforms you from an ordinary person into a noble person? That he's addressing such people. And the clue is, all of you are noble from his perspective. When he looked at us, he says, you are nobility. And therefore, have you seen? See that? Very subtle. Have you seen? But have you, noble people, seen? So, what makes us, how can a person become noble? Does it interest you? You may not be interested, but what about your children? Would you like your children to become noble, unlike you? No? What makes this person noble? Any guess? Yes. Yellow.
Dạ thưa con nghĩ rằng một người mà biết quy y tam bảo, biết nương tựa vào tam bảo để tu hành thì cái người đó trong tương lai rồi sẽ thành Phật, là cái dòng giống cao sang của người biết nhất.
Okay. No translation?
Oh. Master, can you hear me?
Okay, now we can.
Yes, Master, I think that for a person to be for a person to be nobility, he will have to take refuge with the triple jewel, and cultivate. Then in the future, who will become a Buddha? That's how we have the standard to become nobility.
Very good. Excellent. One of the ways is for you to be born into monarchy, to nobility, yes? You're born to the household. That's why you are automatically are a noble person, a nobility. Okay, very good. Okay, and so in Buddhism, one of the things that we do is that you can take refuge and become Buddhist. That's how you now are part of the Buddhist household. Okay, but it's more than that. There is good nobility, and not as good nobility. What I'm trying to point out from the example earlier is the British monarchy, to me, in my standards, is not a good monarchy, not good nobility. Okay? They're born into it, okay? But they're not good. And it shows because the younger generation are losing it, the losing sight of what is nobility. This is important for you and for your children. Okay? Nobility of old is a job. Okay? The good nobility is the one that serves their people. Not because I'm born, I'm here, I'm noble, therefore I collect your taxes and I have a good life, I have a good time, I indulge myself. Okay? It's not the kind of nobility. The great nobility, the great kings, the great queens, the great emperors, the great presidents are the ones that take care of their people. Okay? Noble is not a royalty thing. Noble is the quality of heart. A noble father. Okay? A noble son. A noble king. A noble queen. A noble prince. Okay? They're noble because in their heart, they see it, their primary responsibility is to serve and take care of their people. A noble father takes care of his children and his wife. That's why he has a noble heart. What we're referring to in the China world of noble is the nobility in your heart, not there's something that someone or worldly people say, oh, I name you noble, I christen you as noble, I put some kind of sword on your head and your shoulder and make you noble because I call you noble. No, nobility for us, real nobility in the world, in the universe, okay, is nobility of the heart. This is why when you look at the history of mankind, how people became queens and kings, how did they become queens and kings? Because they said, I want to do good for my people. I want to do great things for humanity. I want to serve the world. Remember that? And eventually, they succeeded and they became kings and queens because they were the best able to fulfill those visions. Remember? And then they got married, have a lot of wives and children, and now the children and wives are fighting each other for, the palaces and the princes and princesses for the thrones and so forth. They lost track. They never pass that on to their next generations. Similarly, like Queen Elizabeth never passed it on to her child, her children, and her grandchildren. So all they're doing now is worry about losing what they have instead of serving, using what they have to serve the people. That's my criticism of them. That's why I don't feel they're good monarchs. They're good nobility. And therefore, that kind of monarchy will decline and will die, will perish, because they're not fulfilling the roles. What it has to do with us? You can be noble because of your heart. If your heart, when you practice Chan, it's not about becoming Buddhist. We can't care less. Actually, I can't care less, you Buddhist or not. When we teach Chan, it's in order to help make your heart become more noble. That's what this is about. The Chan teachers of old, the great Chinese Chan patriarchs, Master Hsien Hoang brought to our country, this Chan technology to our country. His purpose, I haven't talked to him yet, but my belief is his purpose is to turn our hearts, our minds into being more generous. More idealistic and do good and help others. That's nobility to the heart. That is what makes us noble. Not a title, not money, not a name. Agree or disagree? Okay, so Chun here, this Chun here refers to a person with noble intent, who practices Chan with noble intent. And the very important thing to emphasize here, Chan practice, as you practice, you meditate more and you understand more, develop, increase your wisdom, okay, become stronger. It makes you even more noble, not less. Okay, so the first characteristic of being noble, okay, noble of the heart, is that you have aspiration, you have lofty aspirations, you have great desires to do good. Is that clear? And number two, Not just great aspiration or desire to do good, but also to do more good and more good. You're not happy with the status quo. You want more.
합니다. 지금의 상태에 만족하지 않습니다.
Okay? You want to be better at it. You continually are finding ways to be better noble. And that's if you do that, you never become fearful of losing what you have.
가지고 있는 것을 잃을까봐 두려워하지 않습니다.
You see that? See the difference in what happened to that British monarchy is they become fearful because they're not improving at all. If you practice Chan, your heart becomes more and more noble, then become fearless.
두려움이 사라집니다.
Become more detached. That's what noble people are supposed to be like. They're detached. They're not greedy. They're not fearful. They're not afraid to lose. Because they still have a lot more than you think. That's why they're not afraid to lose. Is that clear? That's a Chun. In Chan, when you practice Chan meditation, it will make you, help you become a better and better noble person, lofty person. That's what Master Yung Chia says. I've seen all of you Chan practitioners under me. He has a spiritual penetration, looking back, so look at all these Chan practitioners of the past. Great practitioners, as mediocre practitioners, average practitioners, they all really deserve to be called noble. Nobility. They all belong to nobility. And this is not a sales pitch. This is not an exaggeration. This is a statement of fact. Is it clear? Sounds good? Okay, now, remember there's a donation box right there in the corner? Just kidding. Okay? Is that clear? So, Chun, that's why he says, looking at you. Have you noble-hearted person? Okay? That's what the Chun Chinese means. Have you noble-hearted people? Seen. Okay? Seen here refers to, are you aware? Do you perceive? Do you understand? Okay? Did you know? Okay? So here, seen refers to your perceptions, whether you heard of it, have you know of it, have you seen it, have you smelled it, have you tasted it? Okay? Chan is multidimensional. Chan is not sitting there and meditate and become and vegetate. Chan is about shaking your hands and dancing. Huh? Chan is about enjoying the food together. Chan is about talking to your son and say, hey, is your heart becoming more noble like mine? Huh? That's Chan. Okay? Chan is about all the senses. Okay? Are you aware of all those aspects? And then there's a not seen here. Okay, it's very subtle. It's so interesting how these great sages express themselves. Not here. Why didn't he say, have you seen? But he chose to say, have you not seen? Why is that? And by the way, from a Chinese language perspective, is it better to say 君不见 or is it 君没见? Is there a difference? Huh? Chinese people, help me out. Bujian is better? And what's the difference? More formal? Made is too
It just
colloquial?
sounds very wrong if you
Made
do.
wrong. Okay, excuse me. Oh, Jesus, I feel so, inferior. Okay. So why did he choose have a bu jian here? It has a bu not here. Why did he choose have a not? Is there a subtlety in language or not? Yes, go ahead.
This is kind of a way to say, why haven't you? Right? You should have done better. You should have already been able to see it. Something like that.
Exactly. See that? It's very subtle. He says, you supposed have seen it. Okay? That's the implication. You supposed have seen it. But why didn't you see it? Why did you fail to see it? There's a reproach here. If you push it a bit further, for most of you, you should be looking down, okay, not at me, and say, why have I not seen it? Okay? It's a reproach. Better pay attention now. I'm going to tell you what you have not seen when you are supposed to see. Have seen. Does it make sense? It is. He creates tension immediately. He says, you cannot relax. What I'm about to tell you is of utmost importance for you, noble-hearted people. See, for us Westerners in the 21st century, we impress our wives by buying her cars and washing machines and so forth. Okay. But we forget that the most impressive thing is that beauty in your heart. Okay? YouTube, go ahead.
From Cordelia, my son has issues of sharing. How can I help him develop his heart to open up to be more generous if he can't do Chan yet?
How old is your son? Is he 20 years old? Is he 10 years old?
He's 4 years old.
He's 4 years old. Oh, she's right. How did you know? Oh, God, you talk to each other. You women talk to each other constantly. We're behind. Okay, so how the 4-year-old boy is not willing to share? Okay, why is that? Okay, should you be concerned? Mothers, please help. Or future mothers, please help. Teachers, please help. If the kids are not willing to share, what are we supposed to do? Should we be worried? Huh? Go ahead, Doc. Orange.
Thank you, Master. I have a 4-year-old boy too, and I also have a 12-year-old. So based on my experience, it's just a stage they need to pass. For example, my 12-year-old, when he was 4 years old, the first time when we invite a boy to our house for a play day, he literally grabbed all his toy and sit on the staircase and cry for 30 minutes straight and refused to share anything. at that moment, I was really panicking. I was like, "Oh my God, what a monster I'm creating
Yeah,
for the
you
future
have to be a
society."
bad mom. God.
Right. But of course, he's 12-year-old. There's no problem at all. And for my younger boy, I guess I'm more relaxed. And I believe just like we have to hold on to something, then we can give. So it's okay to let him have it and reassure him it is his toy right now. When he's ready, he's able to share, and then he can share. I guess maybe when I am more relaxed, currently my 4-year-old is more willing to share, even though 1 year ago he's refusing to share also. So it's just a time phase. Let them pass, let them own their toy, and eventually when they're ready, they will do it.
Okay, very good, excellent. Anyone else? So much experience, motherly experience. Oh, yes. So the answer, theoretically, I concur. The kids go through phases. It's normal. It's by the way, one more comment on that is that embrace your kids. Okay, you worry too much. You should embrace your son as who he is, what he does, and enjoy the process. It's no right and wrong, by the way. Okay, if he ends up being selfish the rest of his life, so be it. Enjoy the process. Okay, you really have nothing to worry about. It's more you should be looking at. Enjoying the time you have, you watch him growing up. It's a wonderful experience that I think most people love to have. Those are beautiful memories. Okay, and so don't worry so much. Don't try so hard. I want you to remember. Watching your kid grow is very, very enjoyable. Okay, it's nothing like it. So don't worry so much, and that's a mistake you make when you worry so much. Let your kids be themselves. Don't worry. Okay, if he has issues, he has struggles, it's a natural thing. Just let him be. Okay. Okay, let them be themselves. Just enjoy it. And part of the fun of life, okay, is to go with the wind and enjoy it. Enjoy little things, like your husband driving you to the temple, even though when he's Catholic. Enjoy it. Don't say, I wish you are Buddhist like me. Why didn't you take refuge? No, just enjoy it. Or your husband shows up maybe once in a blue moon. Enjoy. Don't say, it's about time you come to the temple with me. Come on. Little joys in life. That's what really what makes these memories wonderful when you get older. Serious. When you get to be my age, you look back and say, what did I do with my life? All I do is work, and worry. Enjoy the little things. Okay? Yeah. And so, Cordelia, don't try so hard. Your kid is who he is. So embrace him, okay? And just be with him. And and finally, the one thing I will assure you is going to happen naturally, okay, is that I guarantee you down the road, not only because it happened to most other kids, but it will happen to yours as well. It's not 100%, of course, but I feel it's very 100% likely or 120% likely that your kid will outgrow this. Why is that? Why do you think? Why do you think the kid will outgrow and will naturally start sharing and so forth? How? Sorry?
Empathy, they start, when I was a kid, I realized how mean I was by not sharing, when other people didn't share with me. So I realized that maybe I should share with others, so people will share with me.
Right. You become wiser. Yes. You become wiser and say, hey, there's a better way to be. Okay? Fine. What else? What are the reasons? It's experience. It's just common sense. Okay? And not only it's common sense, but because you meet more of the people that you like and they share with you and you feel compelled to reciprocate. That's a natural evolution. Okay? Right now, her son has a very limited. Her son first came to the temple, by the way, a couple of years ago, he would sit there and would not talk to anyone and would not look at anyone. He just look at his toys. He's very, very focused on in front of him. That's it. He doesn't want to look at anyone. He doesn't want to interact with anyone. Now he's running around. He's smiling. He comes near some people, stays away from a lot of people, and so forth. But you see the natural evolution. So you see a huge improvement already. Okay, so it happened because he met some other kids. He met some adults, some other people that he liked. And so he naturally was drawn to them. And so it drew him out of his own little small world because he enjoyed himself more. People will share, kids will share because they enjoy sharing. That's the bottom line. Okay? Right now, he's not sharing because he feels it's more fun for him not to share. But in the future, naturally, as you live in society, you live with a lot of people, naturally you share because it's mutually beneficial. So far, so good. It's societal conditioning. And finally, what's another reason? The most important reason why he'll share. I want you, mothers and aunts and grandmothers and so forth, such people, to know why. Because they learn from you. You learn from your noble hearts. Noble-hearted people share what they have, share their advantages. They're not afraid to lose their advantages, to lose what they have. They share the good stuff, the goodness. Okay? You don't have to worry about it. Just become more noble-hearted. Your kids will pick it up from you. Don't wait until they pick it up from their teachers, from their aunts, from other people. Make sure they pick it up from you every day. Just feel it in your heart. That's what I fault the old queen of giving only the fear to her children, her grandchildren. Okay? Because it's wrong influence. She should have maintain her ideals and broaden her ideals. Why did she stop the Commonwealth? She should be world wealth. She never expanded the nobility in her heart, the goodness in her heart. And that's her fault. And that's why the children are like that. That's why her grandchildren are like that. I don't see any ideals in the young generation and those princes. They're fighting, they're struggling to keep what they have. Instead of giving. That's what noble people do. They give. You know, what a beautiful legacy you have. You leave to your children. You leave your children your noble heart. You leave to your nephews, the next generation, the nobleness in your heart. To me, that's what Chan is about. To me, that's what life is about. No one remembers. You give them money. They go, out and buy some ice cream and buy a house, buy a car, and they forget about it. Okay, and they want more. But what they remember is those fond memories, how they feel about you when they're with you. And that's, the cars will be gone, the material things will be gone, but the caring, the goodness in your heart will be remembered for a long, long time, for many, many lifetimes. That's what makes you a Chin, a noble person. Don't be so preoccupied with yourself. Worry about your wife. Worry about your children. Worry about your, whatever you can give while you still can. That's what noble people do. And your children will pick it up from you. From you. No one else. They'll have a chance to compare your heart with the others, with their teachers, their friends' parents, and so forth. Make sure you set the example. Okay? It's not meant for you to cry when I talk about nobility. But some people take it to heart. Give her some Kleenex. Come on. Be civilized and noble-hearted. How can you let a person cry and sit there and say, seriously? Where's your nobility? You see some people cry, go over and help her out. And say, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. Your legs will recover. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, so that's what it has. So the great master says, have you noble-hearted people not seen? What's the matter with you? Okay, so get your attention immediately. All right, that's enough for today. I mean, seeing the crying really makes my heart cry too. So, so we stop here and go have lunch. Is it okay? And so that those of you who can, have more time to gossip and talk about children, nobility, and so forth. Sounds good? Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.